Hey everybody, Coach Damon here. Today we're going to talk about what you should do if you have a significant amount of weight to lose. So for example, when we're talking here, we're talking about 20 pounds plus, for example. Could be 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100. Doesn't matter. But basically a significant amount of weight. How should you tackle that? How should you go about that plan? So the first thing in this situation that I would recommend, and it's a little bit counterintuitive to sometimes to some people, because most people, if you want to lose weight, they want to get on a plan. They want to get on a workout plan, a nutrition plan. What do I need to be deprived of, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, the approach I take is actually a little bit different. If we know that it's going to be, it's going to take you some time. You're not going to lose 20, 30, or 40 pounds in 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks for that matter. It's going to take some time. So we have that discussion up front that you have to be willing to say, hey, what's the timeline on this? Okay, how long is this going to take us? And you can map that out. That's going to be different for everybody, but let's just say it's going to take 4 to 6 months. It's going to take longer than 6 weeks. And you come to that agreement, because that's the first place you need to start. You need to be realistic about this. Hey, we will get you where you need to go, but how long is this going to take? So, and if that's the case, it actually really works in your favor if you can stick with it and stick with me right now, is that you want to start small. So example, I have a couple clients just recently that they needed to lose a significant amount of weight, 50 plus, one probably closer to 100. And the first thing I do is I'm not even concerned with weight at that point, because we talked about their lifestyle and their habits, and they have, they readily admit, like, hey, I don't have healthy habits right now. I've let myself go in certain areas. Hasn't been a priority. It's not important. It is important to admit that that's where you're at. That's fine. But that doesn't matter. We're going to make those changes. So what we want to do is, I'm not worried about the scale at that point. Yeah, we want to know where you're starting from. Great. Is it a tool to measure as we go? Sure. But I'm more concerned with, okay, what are you doing daily? Because obviously your daily habits were not good to get you that far off track or overweight. So we need to look at those habits first. So what is it? You're obviously probably not moving, not working out, probably got terrible sleep habits. Obviously nutrition habits are not good. So we have to look at these things. So I want to start small. So what I do there would be like, okay, what can we do daily that you're not doing? The first thing there is, it's simple. Let's get you moving. Can you go for a walk? What's realistic? And it's going to be different for everybody. But again, starting small. So moving, just simply moving. I'm not even worried about a strength training program or workout program at this point. I'll get you there. It's not where we want to start. We want to get those habits. And it might take a week for somebody. It might take a month. It depends. Everybody's different. But point is what I'm getting here is, if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, you want to start small. You want to start building habits, build a foundation that you're going to be able to maintain, so that when you start losing weight, you're going to be able to maintain it. It's something that's sustainable over time. So a couple things that when we talk about starting small, you can just start with steps. You can start with just paying a little bit more attention to your food, getting a handle on just, what do you do? What small adjustments can you make, maybe to eat a little less to begin with? That might be where you're starting. Maybe the quality of food. There's different things that you could start with, but if you just started with those two things, if you think about it, if someone has 50 pounds to lose, and they just said, all right, I'm going to start walking every day for a certain period of time, and I'm going to find a way to eat a little bit less than what I'm doing now. They're going to get some success. They're going to get some progress. But more importantly, what they're doing is they're building positive habits that they can continue to improve on. So those are just some small things that you could start with right there. I would address some other underlying habits, like, how's their sleep? Is your sleep terrible? You're going to bed really late, getting up early? Is it you just poor sleep in general? How can we improve on that? Because we know poor sleep habits have a direct correlation between weight gain and not being able to lose weight. So that's a simple place to start. Also, just simply like water, that's something that you could look at. But ultimately what we're talking about here is, when you have a significant amount of weight to lose, is just starting small, making small daily changes and building on it, because eventually you're going to have to get a little bit more dialed in on knowing, like, how many calories do you need? Where's your protein intake? What's your workout looking? Maybe we do need to have some strength training. But if you start there, that's going to be overwhelming for someone who has very bad habits at this point. So start small. You're going to implement those things later. But if you have a foundation of, hey, all right, I'm already getting some good sleep, I've corrected that. I'm kind of going for a walk. I'm going for a walk every day. I'm getting a decent amount of steps. I've made some, decent changes on my nutrition to fit into my lifestyle. Now, once you have those things, it's much easier. Maybe you've added water, you're drinking a lot of water, you're staying hydrated. If you have those things as a foundation, it's much easier to move forward to the next step of like getting more dialed in on your nutrition, getting a more specific workout plan, maybe more specific with your cardio, and going, even supplementation, things like that. Those are next level things at that point. So bottom line here is if you have a decent amount of weight to lose, start small. Find some habits that you can build on. That's the first thing. And lastly, the last point, I think that people really miss out on this when it comes to weight loss, and especially if they have a significant amount to lose, is you have to develop patience. You have to be in it for the long haul. You have to know that, hey, you know what? This is going to take some time. I know that, and I'm going to see it through. So that's the last thing. Develop patience, and just start small. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.